Well, this is meant to be a little diversion from what I've been telling you in the past here. Kind of something a little bit humorous and funny. And I thought that this would make you laugh. So I'm going to share 2 Timothy 3. And this is starting in verse 1. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning but never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. Just as Jannes and Jambres opposed Moses, so also these teachers oppose the truth. They are men of depraved minds who, as far as the faith is concerned, are rejected. But they will not get very far, because as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. You, however, know all about my teaching, my way of life, my purpose, faith, patience, love, endurance, persecutions, sufferings, what kinds of things happened to me in Antioch, Iconium, and Lystra, the persecutions I endured, yet the Lord rescued me from all of them. So the Lord is our rescuer, and particularly when it comes to the rapture of the believers. In fact, everyone who wants to live a godly life in Messiah Jesus will be persecuted, while evildoers and impostors will go from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. But as for you, continue in what you have learned and have become convinced of, because you know those from whom you learned it, and how from infancy you have known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Messiah Jesus. All Scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. So obviously we've been able to figure out that in the last times, the last days, people will be lovers of themselves. So we know that the selfie is something that's never happened in history, and you see this with the Kardashians. They're always posing with their phone and trying to pucker up and do all these little poses for the camera, and it's all about lovers of self. You know, from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, they're taking selfies like everybody wants to see them every minute of the day. So this is not just happening with men being lovers of self, and of course women, as we've seen in the fashion world and all of that. But the wildlife is also becoming lovers of self. And this is so funny because this was recorded in Boulder, Colorado. The park rangers check camera trap and discover 400 of the 580 photos it took were bear selfies. The camera trap that captured the glamorous pose-loving bear was placed by Boulder, Colorado's Open Space and Mountain Parks office, recorded on January 25th, 2023, posted by People. It says rangers for a Colorado park system found a surprise when they checked a wildlife camera trap 400 bear selfies. Boulder, Colorado's Open Space and Mountain Parks, OSMP, wanted to observe the land system's sensitive wildlife habitats unobtrusively, so park rangers placed 9 camera traps across 46,000 acres to see how animals use the area. Upon checking one of the camera traps to see what wildlife it captured, rangers found hundreds of photos of a shamelessly curious bear. Recently, a bear discovered a wildlife camera that we use to monitor wildlife across Boulder's OSMP. Of the 580 photos captured, about 400 were bear selfies. OSMP shared in the study it created based on the data pulled from the camera traps per SWNS. OSMP added that the cameras cut down on the time rangers spend in sensitive habitats and help the department learn more about local wildlife's use of the landscape. Every day, scores of animal species furtively scurry across Boulder landscapes to search for food and to find resting places. Most often, no one, not even City of Boulder open space and mountain parks, OSMP staff, ever sees them. But sometimes the OSMP staff is fortunate enough to get a close-up look at local wildlife thanks to a system of motion-detecting cameras that passively capture snapshots and videos of animals residing in their natural state, they added. The content the cameras capture, bear selfies included, can help rangers identify wildlife areas that require habitat protective measures, said Will Keeley, a senior wildlife ecologist for open space and mountain parks. An OSMP camera trap snaps a photo each time its motion detector is set off. The cameras use infrared light to create photographs, which minimizes any disturbance to nocturnal wildlife. OSMP places its cameras in corridors where animals are likely to travel, such as road underpasses and where there are signs of wildlife activity. Sometimes we put cameras in locations where we think we'll encounter enigmatic fauna like American beavers or black bears, said Christian Nunes, a wildlife ecologist with OSMP. We are fortunate to live in an area with a rich diversity of wildlife species, and these cameras help us to learn what animals are really out there and what they are up to over the course of a day, a week, or even years. It's unclear what caused one Colorado bear to pose for hundreds of selfies, but OSMP is happy to have the adorable data. Take a look at these cute pictures. Need I say any more? We're living in the last days. Not only people will be lovers of themselves, but the wildlife is getting in on the act of taking their own pictures. How cute is that, though, that the bear's taking its own picture 400 times? Can't get enough of the camera. These are the last days for sure. But not everything is bad. There are a few funny things in life, and I just wanted to give you something humorous today to give you a good laugh and some happiness instead of all the bad news all the time. So anyway, God bless the animals. They are surely wonderful and give us unconditional love like nothing else down here on this earth, and I'm so grateful for them. And I just love them so much. I'm so thankful for God's creation, His wildlife, and His birds. Yesterday when I was walking down the icy, snow-ridden path, I had a flock of geese that crossed the road, and it was like a lineup of geese, and they were all walking very close to me down the sidewalk, and they were just adorable, and getting a drink out of one little gutter place that melted. So it was really beautiful, and some of them flew over me honking, and I'm so glad that God brought this little bunny, which I haven't seen over here again, but hopefully I will. I can't imagine life without the wildlife and the birds and everything that God created to make life beautiful. But aren't they hilarious? Animals do the funniest things. And taking selfies in the last days is just so incredible. I thought I'd share this and that you would enjoy it. So I'll see you later in the next video. God bless.